Hello, world. This is America's Supermom, and this is a special edition that I call the Corona Chronicles. During this time, we are suffering from a pandemic that is affecting everyone across the world. We are joined with the rules and regulations of being shelter in place, which means we are limited with the ability to go about our daily business, confined to our homes based on a coronavirus that has been sweeping the entire world. For some people, the effects could be mild. For others, it can be fatal. So we are coming together as a community, as a family during this time of difficulty to share what it is like in our part of the world, how we are affected, and the things that we have in common, what kind of problems that are taking place in our industries and in our relationships and finances, and coming together so that we can plan for a better tomorrow. As this epidemic or pandemic crosses the world, we are waiting for relief. We're waiting for the virus to die off and for us to go back to some state of normalcy, whatever that may be, after things kind of settle down. So, what is that going to look like once the dust settles? How are things going to be different? So, as we go through this process, we're coming together as a world to create ideas, strategies, connect in ways that we have never connected before. So, that is the purpose of the special podcast that I call the Corona Chronicles, so that we can get some insight and have empathy and compassion on one another, create new innovative ideas that can not only improve our life, but our fellow brothers and sisters across the world. Thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, Karen. How are you?
Good morning. How are you doing?
I am well. I really wanted to say thank you so much for your time
Oh,
today. I mean, this is just wonderful. I'm really excited for everybody in my network that are just taking the challenge of, sharing their wisdom and golden nuggets. So I just want to thank you again for being a guest today.
well, I appreciate this too. It's funny. It seems like a kind of coming out of a dark hole myself in my life, and I had a radio show when I started,
Hmm.
and now I have a radio show coming out of it. So it's
Oh, this
kind of
is awesome. This is
it's kind of
awesome.
foreboding.
Okay. Well, we will probably get into some of that as we go through the interview. So, before we get started, let us know a little bit about you. And I know you're in photography and just pretty much broadcast media. So, I'm sure some of the audience may be wanting to reach out to you and thinking, okay, this media, what do we do with all this information that's going on with this pandemic? But let us know a little bit about how you got to where you are, a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Well, you mean right now?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Of course. Well, I think it's just been in my blood. My mentor was Shirley Temple, and to this day still is Shirley Temple. She
Mm-hmm.
died, I think, the day after my birthday or on my birthday. So I was
Mm.
blessed with that as well. To have my mentor just, be have it at the essence around my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know, this I just performing entertainment is just kind of what I'm all about. I'm always about entertaining people.
Mm-hmm.
Al-
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a moment where I'm always trying to make crack a joke or
Mm-hmm.
you know something kind of light and funny. My
Mhm.
son's the same way. He's kind of jubilant that way.
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
life is hard. Life has not been easy on me. Of course, I don't think it's easy on anybody. I don't know why people think life should be easy,
Right.
but
Right.
um, but I my career's been tough. I went to a school that was tough. I struggle with learning, so I went to more of a professional school, Brooks
Mhm.
Institute of Photography.
Mhm.
Wasn't accredited at the time. I
Mhm.
think Mr. Ernie Brooks just got mad at the whole um, accreditation system
Mhm.
and said, "Ah, the heck with you! I'm not going to comply." So going into my education, I knew my BA degree wasn't going to be worth much beyond what I was going to use it. But then again,
Okay.
I didn't see myself going beyond a certain
Mhm.
level of education anyway. I
Mhm.
struggled.
Mhm.
So because I struggled in school, I picked something very visual that I could do for
Mm.
income.
Mhm.
But fortunately, that business came with a lot of politics, dirty politics that
Mm.
I wasn't prepared. I even went into some politics. I've always, it's funny, politics has kind of always been at the sideline for me. I'm very proud of the fact that I was even though I was struggling through high school, I was at a private school where they had the Model UN system that they were
Mhm.
doing, and I got to represent Argentina's human rights committee, and got a feel of the UN. And
Mm.
actually, I thought I'd never be in politics after that experience. I just couldn't believe how corrupt and how selfish
Mhm.
that whole process is. But anyway, um, I graduated from Brooks, and I met my husband to be at Brooks, and we moved to um, from Santa Barbara. Or I was in LA for a little bit, and
Mhm.
then moved to Phoenix or Mesa. And I
Okay.
worked at Channel 12. Uh, Enjoyed that. I was part time. At the time, I just come out of a real slow work. Uh, I think the .com had just died,
Mhm.
so all of a sudden, the workforce was not good coming in. So all I could find was part time work at the time. And
Mm. Mhm.
I worked there for about 3 years and said, okay, not going anywhere with this. Went on, did some freelancing. Worked on some movies of the weeks. I did lighting, and I did grip and electric.
Mm.
Um, so I was out there with the boys, hustling the big cable
Mm.
and big lights. Done that for quite. That's been a struggle. I even had a gentleman tell me, "Well, Karen, we like you, but you're the only girl we really want to have in our group."
Oh.
So yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then yeah, that's tough. And then I even had a gentleman from LA, and this was not too long ago, say he actually literally told me not to show up until till everything was set up, because he thought I was going to slow things down.
What? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So this is just kind of, but the group here in Phoenix, the guys actually took care of me. The ones that liked to work with me, they did hire me, and they stuck up for me. I remember hearing someone saying, "Can she do the work?" And he says, "You know what? She actually runs circles around a lot of the guys, so I don't know what you're talking about."
Mm.
So and then more women started to show up in the industry that I was doing. I didn't go into camera. A lot of women did go into camera,
Mhm.
and so there. And it's just like, okay, when you're around there's just a lot of politics around the camera. So I just like, I would be better off pre-lighting the next set. That's what I like doing. I like to go
Mm-hmm.
off and do that kind of creation. I have my own way of creating.
Mm-hmm.
So when the big money for the show stopped coming into Phoenix, I had to start doing something else. I did some fashion. A lot of this stuff there wasn't a lot of money in, so it was all kind of just keeping myself busy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know how many years I worked with no income because there was just nothing there. And the amateurs were sucking it all up because they could work cheaper than everybody else. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where the industry was going in in my field. So my business actually is no longer really.
I see.
I have it still, but it's pretty much my community pretty much killed me off.
I see.
And I'm not blaming the
Mm-hmm.
community because I'm sure there's things I could have done
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with my finances, but so business wise, I failed.
Mm-hmm.
Community, I think there was a lot of things I did to help the
Mm-hmm.
community, and I actually got thrown under the
Right.
bus.
I see.
I tried to get us a tax incentive, and then I realized, the problem is not the government, the problem is
Mm-hmm.
us.
Mm-hmm. Well, you
And then when I started to say,
no, I was going to
huh?
say you could shed a lot of light on somebody who is, even just as a mentor. You reflect back on Shirley Temple, playing such a pivotal role in your life. And, a lot of people, this is kind of like ground zero in a lot of industries and um, just with different career pathways and for possibly reinventing, having that phoenix type of situation rising back up. So for somebody who would
Right.
be interested in, media of this type, what would be your advice to give them, to get started?
Be ready to go to war.
Mhm.
Be ready. You got to be a soldier.
Mhm.
If you can't soldier up to the situation, you're not going to make it
Mhm.
because there's so much against you. The industry right now is so volatile,
Mhm.
but it's and the problem with that, it makes it very hostile.
Mm.
And that's what I've experienced. I mean, okay, a lot of times you'll get a lot of pats on the
Mhm.
back. Um, and then you'll get a real hard one that just and throws you on the
Wow.
ground.
Yeah. So now, what do you think the main source of? Do you feel like it's just like a scarcity mindset for people thinking that there's only so many jobs available or so much recognition? So it's like, everybody's vying for the same thing. What would you think is the cause of it?
I think it's power. I
Mhm.
think it's pure
Mhm.
power because media is
Mhm.
power.
Mhm.
Um, to have that kind of an influence is
Mhm.
power. You could be a famous person and not have no money, but if you have a platform that people are listening to
Mhm.
you, you can be more powerful than the richest man in the
Yeah.
world.
This is true. I mean, and we definitely have seen that with, all the different platforms that have created influencers, through Instagram
Yes.
and, you know, um, people going viral, through social media, you know. So,
Yeah. And and I'm finding that, the people who actually are the real workers, who actually have the real information and the real
mhm.
source, they get buried.
Yes.
They're not even really, they get buried because they're doing the work. They're not actually able to be the spokesperson
Right.
because they're buried in the work. What happens is that their work gets taken by these people that have a mouthpiece, and then they put their own twist on it.
Mm.
And so, and that's the problem.
Mhm.
We got people, We got people who are stuck at a desk. They haven't picked. They don't open up a single article themselves. They're just fed
Right,
information,
right.
and then they think that they can, you know, express their opinion. That's not news. That
Mhm.
when did that whole ethic? I think we've lost ethics in some of
Mhm.
the business. There,
Mhm.
what happened to the craftsmanship and being sticking to certain standards? Everyone's looking for the frickin' shortcut.
Mhm.
Those people got injured on that train because they took a shortcut
Right. Mhm.
on safety. And this is the problem with America, where I see a downfall in American thinking.
Mhm.
It's like I just got off the Facebook in a conversation how, you know, the president doesn't have good press. Well, okay, is that the real problem, or is the problem we have people that are licking toilet seats and posting that? I mean,
Right. Right.
where is the real problem
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Because there used to be a day that if you felt somebody had nothing valuable to say, you wouldn't post it, or it wouldn't even, it's like one of those pictures that you take that just never see the light of a magazine because you just felt like it didn't represent the truth or whatever. But now it's like anything goes, and whoever has access to being able to put something out there, nope, there's no guarantee what you might see.
Oh, well, this makes a great segue to where I want to go into,
Mhm.
because I actually feel that when I'm posting good things about the Court Bach heroes,
Mhm.
that doesn't get spread out as much as, oh, I'm complaining about the president or I'm complaining about my fellow Democrats.
Mhm.
I think those end up going out further than the good posts or the positive posts that I'm trying to create.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I mean, you said it just perfectly. It's like, people keep reposting it, or, there is that element to keep the chain going, so to speak, when it comes to certain posts um, moving through social media.
Right, sensationalism. That
Mhm.
seems to be more important than
Mhm.
actually whether it's real or not.
Mhm. So, if you had an ideal situation to where you could change that, what do you think would be the first step to start with making an impact?
Well, I had to do it within myself first, and that's
Mhm.
kind of where this whole Fort Bach hero has been impacted me.
Mhm.
I met Janelle. She's the mastermind of the whole thing,
Mhm.
Janelle Garner, and
Mhm.
I she's such a cute little lady. It's hard not to love her.
Mhm.
And I just I met her and I loved her jubilance, and then when she told me about this, I go, this is such a great thing. I have to get involved. So I she sent me my first cork box, and I'm like, this guy is so cute. So I had a I am a Trump supporter, just because
Mhm.
mainly because he's an independent, and he's not a politician, and I'm
Mhm.
an independent,
Mhm.
and I'm actually running as a write-in candidate,
Mm.
and I'm all for creating a third party. So the reason why I support Trump is he represents to me someone who's outside of Washington, coming in to try to
Mm.
do a service.
Mhm.
And I don't care how creepy the person is. If well, yeah, I guess I do sometimes. Sometimes I do, okay? But even the creepy guys, I guess, deserve some sort of redemption. I don't know.
Mhm.
I never thought I'd be voting for Donald Trump, to be quite honest.
Mhm.
I never thought I would, but
Mhm.
here I am. I am.
Right.
And yet, and I'm not trying to, you know, I love my Democratic friends. I mean,
Mhm.
we, if we all believed in the same thing, it would be boring as heck. I love my
Absolutely.
Democratic friends.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I totally get that. And I mean, I think, you brought up an important point about certain characteristics and qualities that you can identify with him on. And a lot of times
Right.
when it comes to those characteristics, people will make a judgment on an individual for things that really don't have any ground or merit. So it's like, now, I wouldn't possibly consider him to be a spouse. You know what I mean? Because
No.
I'm not, you see what I'm saying? So, what it is like, let's look at the position that we're talking about. You know what I mean? More
Exactly.
so than, okay, he's not going to be my father. I'm not asking him to be
Right.
my kid's father, So, we have to kind
Yeah.
of begin to separate those things because people are people, at the
Thank
end of
you.
the day. Yeah. I
Thank
get
you.
that. I get that. So explain to us about this cork bots and what
Well,
they are
I,
and that type of thing.
well, they're from the Nubian galaxy.
Okay.
I don't have, I'm not as proficient on the backstory as Janelle, but because she wrote the book,
Mhm.
but it's based off a book that she's written up, and she's an educator. And the long-term goal is eventually we hope to see a whole new educational system that helps create more creative geniuses versus uh, sticks in the muds.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I think there's a lot of things in our life that tell us no, we shouldn't do it before we even get a chance to even
Absolutely.
create. Okay.
Absolutely.
So it's like, no, we've done that before. You don't need to do that. But
Mhm.
the whole point is, well, maybe they have a different angle on it. We all come from different spots on the earth, you know?
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think what people are forgetting is that where you're standing, you may not actually see the same scene as the person even right next to you,
Absolutely. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah.
because just their angle might, you know, allow them to see something you can't.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think we need to realize that.
Mhm.
I worked in accident reconstruction, and the human brain is like the worst witness. I mean, the human is actually the worst witness ever because we interpret what we see.
Instead of letting it just be.
Well, we're lazy. Our brain, we don't want to have to actually, you know, draw in the whole scene with the crayon, without,
Mm.
we want to, our brain wants to fill the gap without having to do the work. So it will interpret a lot and just assume
Mm.
things.
Mm.
So to, to fight that is the challenge. But
Right.
I digress. That whole thing, I learned a lot doing that accident reconstruction, because it's amazing how when, it's that whole telephone game, you know,
Right.
it starts off, you think, okay, how can anyone mess this up? But as it goes, it comes back and it's like it's gone a 180.
Yes.
And I think,
Yes.
and I think that's I think that's what's happening in the media, because really, if you think about it, there's only, like, again, there's only really a handful of people out there really doing the work, and
Right.
they're being buried, but their work
Right.
is going out, and then their work it's a telephone game. The good
Mhm.
work that was done has now been totally changed to something that they wouldn't even recognize.
Yes. Now, so let's stop here really quick. So, for in dealing with that and knowing that truth, what are some things that we, as part of this world, collectively, because it's not even one area now at this point with this pandemic. What are some things that we could practice today that could be impactful when it comes to kind of breaking that cycle about that interpretation or, um, being lazy and assuming things?
The hardest thing to do is to get out of your own box.
Mm.
Um, although I'm kind of weird, I feel weird being in a box. I'm someone
Mhm.
who feels more comfortable being outside the box.
Right.
Um, But I think that's what we need. And the other thing is we need to allow each other that room again to have that moment of creation before we
Mm.
say, no, I think that's a bad idea.
Right.
Um, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of good things going on that I don't think are being emphasized. There's a
Mm-hmm.
company in town who is doing carpentry, and they're making masks.
Mm.
There's an auto
Okay.
there's an auto company now making uh, regulators.
Mm.
This is kind of reminiscent to back in the with the Great Generation, when during the World Wars, all the other supporting industries, you know, collected aluminum or whatever, tin,
Right.
and they created what they needed to make things go.
Right.
And I think that's we're losing that creative engine.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
what we're losing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead we want to put everything on the government to decide and create for us. I think that's
Right.
a huge mistake
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because they're not
Very
creative at all. We seek
right.
the government for rigidity, for stability,
Mm-hmm.
for some sort of outline.
Mm-hmm.
We don't look to the government to create anything.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So part of what I like about the Corkbach Hero is that it opens up that child creativity. I'm here I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing videos of these little teeny characters. I mean, I'm doing it's no different than working with big people. It's the
Right.
same. I'm still stressed. I'm still like, how am I gonna get this, angle and lighting, and I'm still doing the same thing. But
Right.
I'm having more fun because I'm not as stressed. I don't it's not as critical.
Right.
I'm playing. I'm not worried about the technical. I'm just trying to make it work
Mm-hmm.
creatively.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
technical part I already know, that just kind of falls into place.
Right. Right.
And I
So
think
good.
that's the message. If I could relay any kind, I guess that's my
Mm-hmm.
superpower is
Mm-hmm.
to try to relay that, things can be a lot more simpler if we just allow ourselves to be creative.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The technical will come.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You know, People want to rush everything. They want to rush that
Yeah.
creativity.
Mm-hmm.
That's the critical part.
Right.
You can kind of rush the technical. Everyone spends so much time on the technical, but really that's the
Mm-hmm.
part you can push fast. That's the part you
Right.
can learn fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
Mm-hmm.
creative part that I don't think we're nurturing enough in this country.
Right. Right. Very good point. Now, so for many of us, I mean, I kind of don't have a problem with this because I have 12 kids at home right now when it comes to
How many kids?
being creative. 12, I have 15 altogether.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
yeah.
You make me feel lazy.
So yeah, needless to say, I have built-in school right now, with all of them at home with digital learning. But
That's a whole nother
um,
conversation right there.
absolutely. So, I understand the thing about being creative. We do things like have breakfast for dinner and, candlelight meals. But for somebody who is listening, that, we do need to get in touch with this creativity. What would you say they need to begin? Because, now everybody is stressed and, they don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So for somebody that's an adult, not in that space, they are in a place where they just, are wound really tight. How do you tell them to get started with something like this?
Well, I mean, to be quite honest, I'd say go spend $10 and buy a Courtbach Hero and get involved. I mean,
Okay.
it's changed my life in just the small amount of time. I mean, I literally got into a huge verbal fight with my boss, I quit. I couldn't stand it any longer. I was tired of
Wow.
feeling like I was being neglected and abused and not
Yeah.
being taken care of.
Mhm.
And then he didn't feel like he did anything wrong. He didn't think, I was like, okay, and I just it's like there was no solving this problem.
Mm.
We ended, our
Mhm.
friendship ended, everything ended right then and there.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. Mhm.
And it's like there's no recourse to try to heal that.
Right. Right.
And I had to, and it's like, what's going on with me?
Mhm.
I have a
Mhm.
rash now that I can't get rid of.
Yeah.
Strangely enough, yeah. And
Yeah.
is it stress? Is it, what I thought, it's, my allergies are kicking up. Why?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
I need to change. I've gotten to the point where there's no going further. If I have to change
Mhm.
something, there's
Mhm.
no going
Mhm.
forward in this path. I have to.
Yes.
There comes
Yeah.
a point where you're either going to start destroying yourself,
Mhm.
or it just ends up being this just kind of a void. It just is like you're in a whirlpool for your whole. You don't know how to get out of it. You're just stuck in a
Yeah.
whirlpool, and it doesn't suck you under.
Right. This is some great stuff. Now, so this is something that happened recently?
Yeah, I mean, just getting this little court back for just getting this little guy and making it real for
Wow.
myself. And like we have these bully bots. Okay, the whole
Mhm.
idea is we they come disassembled. You're supposed to
Mhm.
you get the parts and you glue it together.
Okay.
The whole point about the bully bot is we've all had a bully, right? So the idea with the
Mhm.
bully bot is when you're putting your bully bot together, you think about all the bullies or the bullies that you try to make it look like a bully bot. Like this is all the
Right.
bulliness that
Right.
you put all into and then you look at the bully bot and you go, dang, he's awfully cute.
Yeah.
In other words, what it just did, it completely changed all that negativity of all your bulliness into this cute
Yeah.
little, how could you be angry at such a cute little thing?
Right.
Totally changes your mood, your thought
Mm.
process, and how you see your bullies.
I love that.
So the whole
That is
point
awesome.
about the Court Bach heroes is to see the
Mhm.
hero within yourself.
That's awesome.
Change how you see yourself.
Mhm.
Change how you see your enemies.
Mhm.
And everything else will change.
That is awesome. That is so that's so awesome and profound. That's great. Now, I don't think I could top that. That is awesome. Now, so let's final question about the radio show that you have. So tell us about that so we know how to follow you. I mean, you just have some very great nuggets, and I
No,
hope
I
the
wasn't
audience
talking
is
about a
catching
radio
these
show that I
things that
have.
you're
I just
saying.
saw talking being on a radio show.
Oh, okay. I don't know, girl. You might have one in the making, okay?
Well, apparently so, because I might have a TV show. I'm trying to work on a Court Bach little TV show, we're doing a little
Oh,
segment,
cute.
and I got more hits
Yeah.
off of that than anything else. I was just so funny. I just they're
That is
killing me.
so
They're cracking
good.
me up. They're making me laugh every day. I'm belly aching every
That's
day when I'm
good.
working now. Talk about a change from
Yes.
stressing out to where I'm breaking out to where I'm laughing.
Mhm.
I uncontrollably
Mhm.
sometimes getting a bellyache, having to take a break because I'm laughing too hard.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, hey, that's a great thing. You could get online. There's educational messages that you could be doing. there's a lot of kids online, so a great segue for something you could offer doing that.
Yes, and
Uh,
you've come on board as well, and we're hoping to see some video
mhm.
or and
Yeah.
stills from your experiences from this. I'm excited to see how it can change your life. And
Yes.
here I am. I now promoting the Cork Block Heroes. That feels really awkward
You're
because I'm
good.
not a
Hey, you know
salesperson.
what? People need, I'm telling you, you'll be amazed. People are doing all kind of stuff.
Well,
So,
this is
hey,
something.
put it out there because some people don't know.
Well, this would be a great thing, and the kids would love it. And
Yeah.
I had delivered a Corkbot hero to Gene Ho. He is actually he was a personal photographer for Donald Trump during the 16 campaigns,
Mm.
uh, and he has a really cute one. It's a little red one, and
Mhm.
I told him he needs to get his cape design and his superpowers. And if the president can't help you, you got to have your kids. You're home with your kids. Have your kids help you design uh, your cape and what your super,
Oh,
yeah, and the
yeah.
powers. Because really, if you think about it, I mean, NASA did a study just recently that we are
Mhm.
losing our creative genius abilities,
Mhm.
and that the kids
Mhm.
now are the creative genius, not us. We're 98% less
Right.
creative genius than our kids.
Yeah. I believe it. I believe it because I heard this guy who said that like 90% of our thoughts are from the past and it's only 10% that are new thoughts or something like that.
Wow.
So that's
That
crazy. He was a neuroscientist. I don't even remember which one he was, but so that definitely could be true to what you're saying because, yeah.
Well, unless you're an out of box thinker.
Mhm.
I think like I don't think that I have a feeling that school just didn't work on me. I still am a kid at heart,
Mhm.
and that's why I think this has been a good move for me, is because you know, I I'm still a kid. I haven't grown up. That's
Mhm.
probably what causes some
Mhm.
troubles. But I there's something about that. My
Yeah.
kid, he's so worried about growing up too fast. I thought, wow, I have a strange kid. All other kids are
Mhm.
all ready to be
Mhm.
adults. My kid wants
Isn't that right?
my
This is true. Mine don't want to grow up either because I still have some 20 somethings in my household. So yeah, I feel what you're saying.
they're wise, they're witnesses.
Yes. Look, I've tried to have curfew and all these things because I remember when I was 18, it was like 18, I'm out of there. I don't have to follow the rules, and my kids are like, "Hey, I'll just be in by the curfew time," and I'm thinking, "What's wrong with this picture? Don't y'all want to move in together, have an apartment?" It's so funny. They're like, "Mom, we're fine."
Well, too funny. I know. I'll be the one moving out, not my son. I only had one kid, so he'll get
Right.
the house. So I'll be the one moving out, not him.
Right. I feel you on that. Well, this has just been great. I have had really a great
Oh,
time with
thank
you.
you.
Now, you let everybody know the name of your Facebook group and how they can get a hold of you and things like that.
Facebook group. It's just the
Mhm.
Corkbach Heroes. And we
Okay.
have a group, and we have um, a page for retail and for posting.
Mhm.
The group
Mhm.
is for everyone to participate in and to share their their adventures. I mean, that's really what we're trying to inspire. It's kind of like the
Mhm.
pet rock gone viral,
Mhm.
or and there's
Mhm.
actually I'm actually part of a Apache Junction paint rock group, which I will promote right now. Um, I may have had
Mhm.
said that wrong, but they paint rocks, and then they're really cute. They will hide them all over the city, and then there's a note on there. If you find it, go
Oh.
on to the site and let us know where you found it. So they're doing
Oh.
something kind of similar, but they're still doing more of the pet rock thing. I'm doing more of kind of like the next version of that, I guess. But
Yeah.
these are just pieces of wood that we put together, put little googly eyeballs on, and they're aliens. They're from another planet, and they're
Mhm.
coming here to
Mhm.
help balance out the universe because we're too negative.
I love that. I love that.
So
Mhm.
let's see. I also have got a little group called the Filmmakers Lounge. It's a closed group right now. I'm
Mhm.
wanting to, eventually still do something with that, but right now I'm trying to recoup from my losses in the industry
Mhm.
and try
Mhm.
to rebound in a new one in education. So
Awesome.
yeah, because hopefully the
Awesome.
goal is to create an educational system that um, kind of replaces these downtrodden programs that we're experiencing.
Yeah. Well, you definitely would be a great asset for that, because I definitely feel with education, we need to consider all different moving parts of that. There's not just a one size fits all when it comes
Oh,
to
tell
learning.
me about it.
So,
I have my
really,
stories. I actually went to a Scientology
mhm,
school for uh, 6 months, a year. Yeah.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
yeah, I actually graduated high school in 3 years because of it. Yeah, I
mhm,
talk about an
mhm.
example of what is wrong with our school system. Oof, that's a whole nother, that's a day's worth of discussion. That's
You,
a seminar.
I know that's right. We might need to have you come back and speak on
Oh gosh.
that.
Well, yeah,
That'd be
and
great. You
Janelle's
know what I
good.
mean?
She's an educational expert in my opinion as well. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll be sure to
Yeah,
reach out to her.
I've
Uh
lived
huh.
it and she's researched it. Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, that's a
Yeah.
good combination. That's a good
Yeah.
combination. Well, we really have enjoyed this
Well, I've
time with you,
enjoyed
Karen.
this.
I'm so glad we were able to
Yes.
connect. Yes.
Yes, I hope it's
So,
going to be more down the road too.
oh yeah,
Excellent.
absolutely. So yeah, you are more than welcome to come back. I mean, hey, I could pick your brain on several topics, so I really
Oh,
have enjoyed it.
well, I
It's
love
been
your
wonderful.
subject, super moms and their powers. I love that.
Oh,
What's your
yeah.
superpower?
Mine is just being authentic. I mean, for a long time, really, truthfully, I wore so many masks, I didn't
Oh,
remember who I
wow.
was. And yeah, I went through depression, was hospitalized
Wow.
3 times, and now, yeah, now I have really found my voice, and now I help empower women to recognize that you already are enough. It's not about the role you play. Those things don't define you and give you your worth. So I'm very passionate about mental wellness. So this is just great because a lot of people kind of see things through one
Yes.
lens and they don't understand how to break away from that. So, being able to just uh, evolve and learn from everyone is so impactful with helping you to be a better version of yourself.
Yes, that's
So,
that's
hmm
gee, I want to hang around you too now.
awesome. Well, we'll have to connect again. We definitely can do a virtual
Yes.
call or something.
Well, we're
So I'm
definitely going to do
excited.
some
Okay.
cork bach. You'll probably have to be a voice on a talk show. We'll have to see what I'll probably end up starting to do is I'm actually going to
Yeah.
offer people, we'll do a cork bach version of your talk show. Wouldn't that be
Oh, I
great?
love
And then
that.
we're
That's
going to have our own
fun.
network, so our cork
Yeah.
bach network. So we'll have our own little, because we are going to have a TV show. We still are trying to map that out on how what's all going to be in it. But we have
Oh,
we have
yeah.
people that have who are networkers, and we're probably going to have our own Quarkbach network, cartoon channel type of thing. So
I love
yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
I see a lot of
I
room
love
there
it.
to grow into, like, having little shows or replicate shows in different versions. You know it's like when
Yes.
everything went from the real show to a cartoon, and then they went into something else. It's just a different version of it. So
Mhm.
can you imagine having if Kelly Clarkson decided to have a cork box version of her show? Would that be cute?
Right. That's good. That is so good.
Voices, but
And
they would
I
the
mean,
cork box would be them. Their
yes,
cork box heroes would be them.
I'd love that. I'd love that. That is so fun. Yeah, so please, yeah,
I
keep me in the
definitely
loop for
will.
that. I'm
I
down for that,
definitely will.
definitely. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, you have a wonderful weekend and thanks
Oh,
so much
thank
for
you.
your
This was a
time and
pleasure.
we'll connect soon,
Yes.
okay?
All right.
All right. You take
Bye.
care, okay?
Yes. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. That was awesome. It's almost an hour.
What a great interview with Karen. I love her insight on just being creative. It was just such a blessing to be able to see, um, how her attitude just changed, towards the end of the interview based on the concept of thinking out of the box and being creative and exploring different ways to communicate life lessons. I just thought that was awesome. So I encourage you guys to follow along with her on her Facebook group and purchase some quirk box. I think it's important for us to, especially during this time, think about how we can add an element of childlike curiosity to our days, to our weeks, so that we can continue to plant positive seeds in our kids who are our future and giving them a mindset of wanting to be creative and uh, look at life through a different lens and perspective than what it is that we might have encountered as a child ourselves or currently in the modern day of what it is that we experience, but allowing them to not be limited by what's going on right now, but continuing to help them to think forward, to project what the needs are that we may encounter, and so that they're best able to adapt to that with their life, with their choices, the decisions, their inventions, just not having a limit to the things that they can accomplish. So I want to thank you guys for listening. And I hope you got value. I really enjoyed this conversation. It really um, took me a lot of places, but I just love the um, perspectives on the media and what power look like behind the camera, and how we can identify with certain characteristics or thought processes, with our leaders that we might not have normally considered, to even vote for them and stand alongside some of their ideals, even though nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. So, great interview. And if you are interested in being a guest, please feel free to reach out to me at info@LachelleAtkins.com, or you can connect with me on Messenger, LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, and even TikTok. I also have my own YouTube channel with several 1 minute videos that go over topics of overcoming fear, how to stop racing thoughts, how to set goals, and things of that nature. So, would love to have you on to share your insight during this time of this pandemic. We know that this is temporary and it will pass. However, Right now, things could be challenging, and your input can help others to have their whole worlds seen from a better perspective that can help them to continue to move forward. So, no person's impact is too small when it comes to coming together as a unit and with one vision and one heart and one mind to make this world a better place. Thank you all for listening, and please um, leave a review. If this is something that resonated with you or you feel like there's other people that could find value, you can do a review or share it with friends and family. So thanks again for listening.